Hey all, Heber here. So today we had another look at the upcoming Xbox game Starfield, and it was courtesy of Starfield Direct, directly from Bethesda, the developer. And I'm gonna go through the video very quickly here to give you an overview of the most interesting things, and we'll start off with the character creator here, because I mean it's nothing special, but at least there is a character creator there, and it's going to mean a little bit more than it does in, for example, Diablo 4, for example, because actually here you can see your character up close, and it's quite important. Now, this direct video here actually gives us a little bit more information than we had before, which is, not that hard, because there's very little information on Starfield out there, really. But at least here you can see you're able to pick a background, which seems very similar to some of the stuff we've had in Skyrim earlier. And they also showed off a little bit of how you navigate between planets, star systems, and even, the whole universe as such. So it's very similar to other space games, really. I mean, you zoom in and out depending on how far you want to go. But the thing is, if you want to travel really, really far, you need to upgrade somehow your spaceship to be able to, jump that many light years. And jumping in this game is done using something called a grab drive, and it just looks like a warp drive really in any other game. So if you play EVE Online, you'll know exactly what I mean. So grab jumping seems, pretty easy to pull off, but of course you have to wait a little, and I guess that's one of the things you can tweak in the game. Now, obviously there's going to be a story, or actually many stories in Starfield, and I'm going to skip a little bit over this area because we all know that's going to be in the game. Like, you visit planets, you visit ships, you get, missions and little side hustles from characters in the game, and nothing really out of the ordinary here, it seems. It looks very much like Skyrim in space, really. And another thing that's also not a surprise is like the way you can upgrade your skills. And there's a fair few categories, like lockpicking. We're used to that from Skyrim, for example. So there's 5 different specialization trees, and each tree, as you can see, has a lot of different skills, and I believe each skill can be upgraded 4 times. So there's plenty to dive into there. For example, xenopsychology here, that allows you to neutralize aliens, which is quite cool. You can also pop points into your jetpack. Lots of people, I believe, are going to do that. Or into being like a real fist fighter. There's lots of opportunities, and honestly I'm looking forward to it a lot. Of course, stealth is there as well. So one thing I'm very excited about, and probably the most exciting thing about Starfield really, is the ability to build your own spaceships from scratch. And we've seen a little bit more detail in this video here, and wow, there's a lot of options, and it even seems that you can make quite big spacecrafts, actually. And not just that, also the interior of the ship will be up to you to make it, the way that you want your spaceship to be. And apparently every spaceport, or at least most spaceports, you'll be able to, change your spaceship. And you can have small ones, or even big hulking ones like this one here, and pretty much everything in between. And the way you do it also seems very, very intuitive. Cockpit, like reactor, engines, grab drive, weapons, and stuff like that. And you can be as detailed as you want. In the video, this says that if you don't really care about this, you can just upgrade shields by tailing the game too. Or you can also dig into every conceivable detail, which I can tell you that I am going to do for sure. And even changing the color scheme of, it looks like every part of your ship is also going to be something really awesome for me. Now, there's no multiplayer in Starfield, but hopefully you'll be able to show off your ships or your designs somehow. I'm also excited about how you can architect the inside of your ship, and I also like the look. Like it's not as old school as Alien, but not as super futuristic as some of the other things we've seen. And you can display your weapons and probably your trophies in your ship. And of course, some NPCs in the game will be able to, be crew of your ship. And that'll make it even more interesting to build then. So what about actually flying these ships here in space? And I must say, the space flight and the space combat looks really, really solid. I can't really put a finger on anything I've seen so far. It looks beautiful, it looks fluid, and it looks simple enough, but also, a little bit intimidating to not make it too simple. And one of the main features of it is that you have to juggle your energy between your lasers and your engine and your shield and so on. And I don't know how much of a role this is going to play, but I guess we'll find out. It also looks like people can just, you know, warp in, or not people, NPCs or enemies can just warp in out of nowhere and attack you at any point, which of course, you know, adds to the tension, and I think will be like a good part of the game. Once you upgrade enough, you can also target individual parts of enemy ships, which is always good. And if you don't want to shoot down enemy ships, you can also board them instead, take out the crew, and pretty much steal the ship. I mean, I think that's awesome. And perhaps that way you'll be able to, you know, get your hands on some really cool extensions or modules for your ships, because I think that's going to be a big part of what I'll do in this game, is to just, you know, track down every conceivable module for a ship that you can have. So in space, you'll be able to visit space stations as well, and not just, you know, dock there. You can actually walk around and take in the atmosphere. I think that's really, really cool, and I can't wait to do it. I hope you can build your own space stations. It doesn't look like you can do that yet, but you will be able to build your own bases on planets, for example. So building your own little, you know, outpost on a planet also seems like a really cool addition here. And, you know, there's a little bit, well, actually quite a bit of stuff here borrowed from No Man's Sky, but I just think that Starfield does it so much better. There's no multiplayer to speak of, at least not yet, but hopefully they will add something in the game where you can show off your outposts or your, you know, your customized ships or spacesuits or whatever. I mean, I'm not asking for, you know, dogfights with enemy players, but just a way of sharing what content you have come across or created in the game. I don't think that should be too difficult, and perhaps it's already included, who knows. So like I said before, creating your own spaceships, building them exactly the way you want, going exactly where you want to go, and doing exactly what you want to do is going to be, you know, what this game is about. And looking at the gameplay that's been released so far, it looks pretty much spot on. I can't wait to get my hands on this game, to be honest. And if you look at the biomes here, like they're just showing a few here in the direct trailer, and well, it does look really good. There's all sorts of planets, you know, like just like in No Man's Sky again, like desert, ice, like lush planets, and you know, everything in between. And I think it does look way better than No Man's Sky, and obviously it would have to, because this is a full price game, and it's been in the works for, I guess, like a decade, and well, it does look like that time has been, you know, well worth it. So I realize this is mostly or almost completely a solo single player game, but if Bethesda can just add in just a few things for sharing your creations and your spaceships, I'm going to be happy. But so far, the game looks absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to dive into it here later this year. And the release date is the September 6th, I believe. And remember, it's only on Xbox. You can't get it on PlayStation, which is a shame. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you out there.